Hi, my name is Noelle Asmann, and currently I am a researcher at the University of Texas with the Urban Ecosystems Lab, and I work in the chemistry team led by Dr. Ruth. And currently I am working with the UG, it's like the United States Geological Survey, and we're working with their data to look at patterns and statistical data and that fun stuff. But before the summer, I was doing some biochemistry research having to do with algae and pollutants and how we could use algae and bacteria relationships to get rid of pollutants that you would see in the stream. So I have not always been interested in environmental science, but it's always been in the back of my head as an interest of mine and just something I wanted to pursue outside of school and outside of wanting to do medicine and other types of research. I wanted to do astrobiology at one point. Um, I really like. I would really like to work in the environment. I love being outside. Being outside just makes me really happy, and with all the changes that are happening in the climate right now and just things changing in general with our environment, it's really important that we have people who are able to research these changes and look at ways to fix them. And that is why I chose to be in urban ecosystems and why I would like to continue researching in environmental science, which is what urban ecosystem does. I think the most interesting thing is probably the people I work with and the things we find together, because you can't just, you can't discover things on your own typically, like unless you're playing a game or something. But usually, like, other people's perspectives are really great, and you can find out a lot. And just, two heads are better than one. So it's really, I think that's the most interesting thing about my work is like other people, their personalities. Um, if you find the right people, a lab can be really fun. And it's just really interesting the way other people's minds work. Like they'll see data in a different way than you have, and you're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Um, or what was the other thing I found interesting? Oh, yeah, the things that you see. I, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have taken a second look at Waller Creek if I hadn't been at Urban Ecosystems. Um, just knowing like what's inside of Waller Creek chemically, you just see the water, but it's not just the water. It's more than water. And you didn't know that until, you know, you look a little more deep. So I think that's also interesting, just knowing that within these like tiny, if you look at a tree, it's not just a tree. There are just so many different relationships happening on that tree or in the tree. It's just really interesting to see all the things you couldn't see. I would say it would mostly have to do with myself. I think everyone goes through um, a phase in which they're battling themselves over what interests them and what path they should take. And honestly, I learned that, you can't just like hear it from someone else and be like, I'm gonna do that, because you need to learn it for yourself. But I think something that's important is that you shouldn't be so hard on yourself when you're taking this journey. Um, no matter what you choose, as long as you are happy and you really like what you're doing, I think that's really important. Um, I just think that's one of the biggest obstacles I faced is myself being in the way of the things I want to do, thinking, oh no, I won't look smart if I do that, or oh no, I can't do that, or oh, you're so dumb, why would you do that? Um, that's probably one of the biggest obstacles I face, and thinking like oh, well, there's that person and they're more intelligent than I am. And, you kind of beat yourself down because of that. And it's really sad, but it's the truth of the matter. And you just have to learn that it's okay. You don't, there's no timeline. I mean, get your bachelor's in 5 years, enjoy yourself, be happy, and, don't pressure yourself and do what you want to do. I think it's the most basic advice to give, but do what you want to do and not what everyone around you is doing or telling you to do. Like, for instance, if you are going into, let's say, the medical field because you don't know what else to do, but everyone around you is going into the medical field, you shouldn't do that. You should go into a field that interests you, that like spark, like just makes you think, oh my gosh, like I'm actually doing this. Like you should look for opportunities where you can to branch out your interests or to look at different interests that you didn't even know you had. Like, for instance, I started first really wanting to do astrobiology, and I was going to get a double major in biology and astronomy. But then I went to the physics library. I went to RLM here at UT or at UT, and I looked up like astrobiology books because I wanted to read them and know what I was getting myself into, finding that out that I didn't actually want to do that, and I was only doing it because I didn't know that there was another path for me to take. And I was actually interested in environmental biochemistry, wanting to know all the interactions that we can't see within the environment. That's something that really interested me. But I didn't know that until I went to the library and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then even in my genetics class, we went over like the genetics of plants, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. Like things like that. You should branch out your interests, do what you want to do, even outside of science. That's another piece of advice. Find something outside of science that also interests you. You know, if you love, like, I love science, but it can't just all be science. Like I have a ton of books here. I love reading, even with, these big textbooks. I still have, let's see, my favorite book, Outlander. Like find interests outside of science to keep yourself maybe not like relaxed and not stressing out about everything, to keep a balance in your life. That's the word, keeping a balance in your life. It's very important. And to make sure that you're doing it for you. You're doing everything and anything for you and not for anyone else. So I wish you guys luck, and I hope this helped. And have a wonderful summer. Hi, my name is Noelle Asmann. Go Longhorns! Bye!